like I said, this is an 11 by 14 canvas that I have just painted black with 2 coats of black paint. I know you can still see my body, but we're just gonna have to live with it for right now. All right, so I've painted it with 2 coats of Anita's black because suddenly I'm obsessed with everything on a black canvas. Don't know why, just because it's cool and looks pretty. So, and then I've just taken a chalk pencil and kind of sketched out a fun, silly little scarecrow. And for anybody who is in the Shattered Circle, I did go ahead and create a cute little tracer after I sketched it. So we'll have that inside the Shattered Circle too. So I'm just gonna get started. He is super cute, and we're just gonna get started painting his face. All right, I am going to use Folk Art Camel, and I'm gonna get started on his face and his little neck cloth, I guess. And I'm gonna just get some on my fancy little palette. I know, it's crazy. I'm so crooked and it's gonna make me crazy. I'm trying not to care, but it is making me a little nutsoid. So, all right, sorry. No, that's my anal retentive behavior. So I'm gonna grab a brush, just a flat brush, nothing fancy, and I'm gonna get to painting. Okay, since I went ahead and sketched him out, I'm gonna go ahead and go around his nose with this Folk Art Camel, and we're gonna get started on our scarecrow. And we're gonna do something I've never done before. We are going to try, hopefully it won't be a disaster, but we're going to add some literal hay to our resin, to our scarecrow, and resin over it, or add hay to after we resin, however I feel like it's gonna work out best, and see how that works. And I don't know how it's gonna turn out, but we're just gonna have to wait and see. So I have some little bits of hay on, I got one of those bales of hay from Hobby Lobby for my window, and I just pulled out a little bit of it. And we're gonna see if it works. I'm gonna be your little guinea pig. And we're gonna see if putting hay in your resin is acceptable. So you'll be the first to know here. I don't have any comments coming up, so either y'all aren't commenting or Facebook is crazy. I'm gonna just assume that Facebook is crazy because I don't see anything. Maybe if I go out and come back in. Hang on. I don't like not being able to see what y'all are saying. Y'all might be talking bad about me. There we are. All right, so I'm gonna keep painting. So we're gonna add a cute little sunflower to this fella too. So I'm gonna tell you guys this. I know everybody's wanting to get foil from Rima. I just saw Lisa's comment. And we about broke the internet with that. I do have air conditioning, Helen, but we about broke the internet with that foil pumpkin. And Rima has been inundated with emails, and she is working very hard. You know, she also has her own business too, but she's working very hard to get to all of you guys. So give her some grace, and don't be upset if she doesn't respond to you immediately. She will get to you. Promise that she needs a little bit of grace, because we about broke her down. We about broke the internet with that foil pumpkin. So this is looking a hot mess already. I'm trying to go around his nose, so I'll still have an idea of where his face goes. This canvas is kind of icky too. Somebody was talking last night about having a canvas that just doesn't want to take paint. And this is kind of how that's working out. This one, I don't know if you can tell, but I'm really kind of struggling to get paint on here. It doesn't want to accept the paint. All right, so I'm gonna come down here, I'm gonna do his the little neck scarf, because that is a connection to this. And then that's kind of like a rope or a scarf around it. So we're gonna come down here and use the same color. Just get a little wiggly. So we've been doing the challenge this week, and it has been so much fun, with the exception of my air conditioning going out yesterday. And I thought we might have to take it home today and do our resin, but the air conditioning is fixed. The guy just left here. I was gonna try to go live like around 3, but the guy just left about 3:15. And it still hadn't completely cooled off here, but it's getting there. I had to take my hat off. That's why it's good to point down to the camera, because it doesn't matter what you look like if nobody can see you. It's like everybody working on Zoom calls now. You can't see that I'm in my pajamas. This canvas. It's rough. I still can't see your comments. So I'm just hoping for the best. So if anybody's asking questions, hopefully they're getting answered by someone. And if not, I will come back and answer questions about anything you might ask towards the end. Because the last comment I can see is Rima. All right, that's just terrible. All right, so now I'm just gonna go up and I'm gonna base coat his hat. I'm gonna get a little bit of a bigger brush because that one's driving me crazy. And I'm gonna use rusted pipe, which is kind of let me show you. It's kind of a light brown, kind of a nutmeg color. I don't know if you can see that on my fancy palette, but it's kind of a nutmeg color. And we're gonna use that on his hat. So this is his hat, and this is like the little point of his hat, and we're gonna have straw coming out of there too. So we're just gonna add that brown. I'll definitely take more than one coat, or either I've got too much water in my brush. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with the comments. So I'm gonna do, we're gonna put a little sunflower on his hat too. Y'all know I love me some sunflowers. Pumpkins and sunflowers for the fall are my weakness. I love them, and I've been doing so many pumpkins, but I am gonna do one more because one of my sweet, sweet members sent me, she does glass art as well, and she sent me some candy corn, glass candy corn. So I wanna do one more little set of pumpkins so I can add my glass candy corn to my art piece. So I'm kind of excited about that. We're gonna do one more. So I'm gonna come in with this color on the brim of his hat too. And we're gonna add some fun color to his hat. So yeah, this is an 11 by 14. I don't know what your comments are, but I know somebody's asked. 11 by 14 that I painted black. All right, I think I'm gonna go ahead and put the rusted pipe on his necktie too. We'll color it up a little bit, but we're gonna start with the rusted pipe. That'll be our base color, our starter. Gotta start somewhere with everything. This canvas is terrible, y'all. If I was painting by myself and just fiddling around, I would have thrown this canvas across the room by now. I would have had a little tantrum. We're not gonna do that live though, because it is driving me crazy. It's not a good canvas. It's one of those cheapies from Michaels, the skinny ones that you get like 10 to a pack. And it is not conducive. Not conducive. All right, let's get the last little piece of his bow. We tied that scarf around his neck. And the last thing, I need to do his nose orange. I'm gonna use this cinnamon. It's a brand new color I just got. And it's Folk Art cinnamon. I'm gonna use that on his nose. Then we're gonna do his shirt, and then we're gonna start, that's almost the same as, that's not it. It's a little oranger than the rusted pipe. It's kind of sheer though. Y'all noticed lately since the COVID and we started running out of paint, when they started supplying it again, all the paints seem to not quite have the opacity that they've had in the past. They all seem to be a little sheer. So it takes 20 coats to get the color you want. You notice that, or is it just me? Just me? Trying to see why I'm not getting. Okay, I'm gonna do his shirt in navy blue because I think it'll pop really pretty on the black. So we're gonna try a little bit of the navy. This is Folk Art Navy. I think we are. Let me grab a brush for that. I think that's gonna show up nice. Oh yeah, look at that. See, that's a good color. That's an old color, you can tell, because I was almost out of it. I've only got a teeny bit left, but that is covering really nice. Now I know it's dark over a dark, but it's smoother too. It's flowing on better than my new colors. So if you get new colors, they don't seem to have the colorant in them that they usually do. So we're gonna add on his shirt. I apologize, I can't see comments, but Facebook is not being very nice to me today. That's gonna look good. We'll add some color to that as well. We'll make him have a plaid shirt on. I did a really cute scarecrow a couple of years ago too that had like some corn on it, some green stuff and some corn. All right, so everything has got one coat of paint. So now I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna start just adding a little bit of detail work. First, I'm gonna start with the face. I'm gonna go ahead into my camel and kind of hit him with another coat. And then while that's wet, we'll add some detail. The nose is going to be cute if we can get enough color on it. I may have to change colors. And he's going to have straw coming out his hat, out his neck, and out the tip of his hat too. So hopefully that's going to be super cute. I'm actually going to put a little bit of raw umber on my palette. Rima. You know, that's funny. I don't know why I can't just go get me some. I don't know. So I'm going to add a little umber to my brush and go back and forth. Then I'm going to come up here and I'm going to add a little shadowing under his hat on his face, because that's kind of where you would have a little shadow from the hat. And it must be still kind of warm in here because my paint's not flowing good. We'll take it around his face a little. Get a little bit more. We'll just come around his face just to give him a little bit of a shadow. This is 5 o'clock shadow. Ugh. Around here. We're going to stop right where his neck scarf stops. We'll kind of add that. We'll just kind of blend it out. I'm also going to go around his nose a little, just a teeny bit. Around his nose. All right, so that's a good start on his face. I'm gonna rinse my brush and I'm gonna get some white. Oh, I just realized that I could see your comment, Rima. So, yeah, somebody I see is asking about the, I use these canvases all the time, and I rarely have too much of a problem with them. It's just like June said, sometimes they are icky, sometimes they're not. It's kind of a crapshoot sometimes. So I'm gonna add a little bit of white to his face on this one side. Maybe a little bit here too. Just kind of walking the line. All right, I'm gonna come back down here. I think that's all I'm gonna do until I do his eyes and fill in his nose. But I'm gonna come down here and get this painted again. And we'll add some detail to that. I think we're actually gonna add some orange. We're gonna add some color into this. Just a little bit. I might add some to his face too. I've just got a whole like 20 colors out on my desk that were kind of fall colors, and I thought I'm just gonna pick them as I go. So let's add, I'm gonna add some of the umber real quick under his chin. Pull it over. I'm gonna go in my white a little. And I want it to be a little crazy, not too crazy, but I think I'm gonna add some, whatever color this is. This is persimmon, which is a nice pumpkin orange. So I'm gonna get a little bit of color on just the corner. You can kind of see how it's just on the corner. I'm gonna rub through, blend it out a little, and I think I'm gonna come up here. Whoops, that was strong. I'm gonna leave that for a sec. I'm gonna come down here and just add a little bit of color on his face, or on his scarf too. So let's go over here and add a little. I'm just playing. Go into a white a little. Still haven't rinsed my brush. I'm just letting all those colors kind of meld together. And we're gonna add a tiny bit of white over. Well, that was too much. I'm going a tiny bit more of that orange because I can't decide. And just add a smidge. All right, we're gonna do some more to that, but for now, we're gonna leave that there. Now I'm gonna grab another brush, a little bit smaller, and we're gonna work on his scarf first. And I'm gonna go into that, I think that's rusted pipe. We're gonna give that another just really quick coat. Oops, I went into the wrong color. That was umber. It's all right, we'll make it work. Just fill in again. Now, the umber looks really good, so I'm gonna go into that umber again and just add some of it to the bottom. And I think I want some yellow. So I'm gonna get, this is golden straw. We're just building up his colors. And I'm just gonna get a dab of that yellow. And we're going to, let's see. Just add some of the yellow to his scarf. Now I want to differentiate between my little ties here, okay? So we're gonna pull that color in. I'm gonna go back into my brown actually. Give it a little bit of a shadow where the little knot starts. And then I'm gonna shadow the top of, I need to rinse, I got too much goo. Tiny bit of the brown. I'm gonna shadow the top of that. Had too much water. With brown, and the top of that with brown. Then I'm gonna offload some of that water and stuff. I'm gonna come in my white, blend it in a little so it's not stark white, and I'm gonna come down and add a little white to the underside of that little bow. And I think I'm gonna throw in a teensy bit of that orange. I am digging the orange. It's just very strong. But I do wanna have a little bit of it in there. Digging it. We'll add some white too after that dries. Now we're gonna go up and do his hat. Rusted pipe. So I'm gonna just second coat this one little blip where it's bent over. My phone rang, startled me. It's supposed to be on Do Not Disturb. About jumped out of my britches. So we're second coat this. I'm gonna leave his brim. I was getting irritated with my own self. It was taking so long. Now, we'll add a little bit of shading of my brush, the corner, and I'm gonna come on the top side and give that a little bit of a shadow so it kind of pushes that brim or the front of his hat forward. You do it again. Got a little too much brown still on my brush. All right, so you see how that kind of made his hat more dimensional. So we're gonna keep on adding a little bit of fun to his hat. We're gonna go into that brown, brush through, and I'm gonna come here and add some brown around the edges. And along the top here. And I think I'm gonna darken up just this one side. We're gonna have a flower there, so I'm not too terribly concerned about that, but I'm just gonna pull a little paint through. And darken up that side of his brim. Because scarecrows are ragamuffins, right? So he needs to look like a ragamuffin. I'm actually going to throw a little yellow in there. Can't help myself. A little bit of the golden straw. And we're going to put a little bit on this side, even though I think that the sunflower is going to cover that up. So we're not going to worry about that too much till we get our sunflower on. A little bit of white. And again, guys, this is not pre-planned. So just bear with me. All right, now I'm going to do his brim because I want to add in some blue on his brim, I think, from down here. So I'm going to go into the rusted pipe color. Ooh, the air went off, and I'm like, no. I need you to stay running. I'm gonna go into that navy just a little. I'm gonna offload though. Got a lot of brown in there. Just get a little bit of navy on my brush. That's too dry. Still too dry. Not exactly how I expected it to turn out, but it'll be all right. We'll cover some of that up. All right, I'm gonna get, let's see, some of this orangey brown. What is that, cinnamon? That is so sheer. Maybe I didn't shake the bottle up enough. I'm gonna add a little bit of that over the top of that blue because the blue didn't really turn out the way I wanted. But I like that it's a little different from the hat. We're gonna add a little bit up here too. Let's see if that's why. Shake it up before I do the nose again. See if that's the problem. Let's do our nose again. Nope, it's just icky. I'm gonna grab a different orange, or actually I don't hate that. Might need one more little highlight, but it's not the worst thing I've ever seen. Let's get a little raw umber. Offload. And just come around his little nose. Actually, I'm gonna get some of this bright orange too. And hit him again. We'll get some white. Notice I haven't rinsed my brush or wiped it off. I'm just keep adding paint. A little bit more. I'm going to come down here and add a little bit to the bottom of his scarf. Okay, and I'm going to go into my white just on the corner. I'm going to brush it through. And add a little bit of white to the top of his brim. All right, let's do a tiny bit of white on the tip of his nose. All right, so we need to do his eyeballs now. So I'm gonna grab just a round brush, and I need black. We're gonna give him some eyes and a little mouth. Then we're gonna see what he needs next before we straw him up. We're gonna straw him up. Oh goodness. So let me go in the black. I kind of want to, let me grab, I'm gonna grab a pencil. Kind of want to place his eyes real quick. So I think maybe we're like right here and right here. I didn't want to get on there and then be like, oh, that's terrible. So now I'll get my brush, roll it in the black, and I'm gonna I wanna make sure I'm not putting my hand in wet. I'm gonna make like a little eye. Little button eye. Oh, that would have been cool if we'd have just had buttons. So there is a little eye for him. Let me find a teeny little brush. I've ruined all my teeny little brushes, pretty much, because I'm a bad person. I'm a bad girl. Bad. I need a super, super thin liner. Super, super. I'll try this one. I want to give him, I probably should just do this with a pen because y'all know I'm terrible with lining, but I'm going to give him, ooh, wait a minute. I want to give him some pink cheeks. Let's grab some pink. Let's grab, I'm going to use this taffeta pink. We're gonna give him some little blusher on his cheeks. I'm just gonna get a tiny bit and rub it through my bristles because I don't want it to be like pink. I want it to be like a shadow of pink there, like that, okay? So water it down, and you'd want a really nice wash so it's not a big pink circle. And I'm gonna take my white. We'll give him some little eyes. And I'm actually I am adding the straw, but I think what I'm gonna do too is take some camel And I'm gonna draw in some straw. Then we're gonna do his little sunflower. So I'm gonna draw in some straw so we're not completely dependent on the straw working. So we'll go into that. I'm just gonna make some straw lines, okay? Nothing fancy, just some straw lines. So we'll just come in under his hat and add some strokes. Roll it again in your camel. There we go. We'll add some different colors to it as well. We'll add a little bit up here. Roll with it. So just add in a few little sprigs. Then I'm going to go into the I think this, what color was that? Cinnamon? Roll in. I'm just going to add a few little strokes of that color too. That's the terrible color that's too light, but it works perfectly for this application because it's not showing up as too heavy a color. This color is terrible. They should be ashamed. We'll add a little white too. Whoops. Not quite white. So give him a little bit of straw in case the actual straw doesn't work out. Then we won't be committed thoroughly, 100% to that straw. Okay, I'm gonna put a little straw coming out his hat too. Go in that color. Just whatever colors you want to use, straw colors. All right. Now, let's see. Now I'm just looking, deciding. I think he needs some eyebrows. So we're gonna get a little bit of black. And I'm just gonna give him a little bit of a eyebrow. And we're gonna do some stitching around his nose. And I'm gonna give him, we're gonna put some X's here and connect it with some squiggly lines for his mouth. So now he has a face. Now he can sass back if he wants to. A little bit of white, just to hit that pink. And let's see, what do I want? What do I want? What do I want? Okay, we need to do something to his clothing down here. And I think we're gonna use white for that. We're gonna give him a little bit of a plaid pinstripey look, okay? So I'm just going to come around the edges of his shirt. Then we'll go just very lightly make some stripes. Then we'll come across like that. Make a few more. And I think I'm gonna get a little bit of this rusted pipe and just make a little bit of a button that you can't hardly see. It's kind of running off the, it needed a little something. It's kind of running off the canvas. And let me look at him. Oh, we gotta do the sunflower. Let's do the sunflower. So I'm gonna pencil that in real quick. We're gonna do about a 1-inch center. And I'm gonna do my petals first. I'm gonna start with, this golden straw. I'm gonna get a little bit more. And I'm gonna make some very loosey-goosey sunflower petals, okay? So don't panic. I'm just going, I actually wanted them to even be a little looser than that. So now we're just gonna throw in some additional color. That canvas is making me sad. I'm gonna use a little bit of this cinnamon on my brush while this is still a little wet. And I'm just gonna come in and add a little bit of color to each petal. And we'll adjust as needed. I'm just trying not to be too terribly like accurate. I kind of wanted it to be a little abstract. All right, so now I'm gonna get some of this golden, or what is this, camel? We'll come on the other side. Just kind of filling in the blank. Then I'm gonna rinse off and get a little bit of white. He's getting there. I like painting like whimsical stuff sometimes. It's just a cute little fun thing. So I'm gonna add just a little white to each petal. And then we'll fill in with the umber. Get a little umber, fill in that center. And I think I'm going to also, I'm gonna get some green. My favorite green, guess what it is? Avocado. And just going to add a little bit of green, just pouncing to that sunflower. I don't know why, because I'm gonna add glass to that. But if you're not going to, there you are. All right, what are we missing? I think I'm gonna use my pen to give it some outline, and then we're going to add our stuff. We'll see if our I got so many paints over here, all over the place. We'll see if our, you know what I want to do? I brought these with me, and I first decided I wasn't going to use one, but now I think I may. I wish it was a little bit smaller, but I think I'm going to paint it bright orange, if I can. It's just a craft button, a little wood button from Hobby Lobby, because I think he needs a little more orange. He's orangeless. So we'll get a little paint on that, and I'm gonna put it somewhere. We're gonna add it somewhere if we have to add it on his scarf or something, because he needs it. I looked all through my studio to find some little cute something I could add, and I think we're gonna do that. That's gonna be the ticket. Yeah, I kind of wanted to put glass in the flower, but what do you think? Glass or the button? This would be super different, wouldn't it? So what do you think? I kind of like that. Should I paint it brown or leave it orange? I kind of like it. We could put it here and have the straw coming out of the button. What do you think? Got a little white on there. Yeah. I think I'm gonna leave the button there. We'll put straw there and then put the button on top. And then we'll put glass there and we'll put hay everywhere else. So real quick, I'm going to just use my little pen to add some detail. I'm just gonna add a little bit of black straw. I'm gonna come around his face a little, around his cheeks, very loose strokes, around his nose, his eye. We'll add some more of that hay right there by his hat. Getting ahead of myself. We'll come around his scarf. Made some little cross hatches in his scarf. I'll show you close up what this looks like. It makes a huge difference. Let's add some straw. It just kind of gives it that final pop, even on the black. Get some hay coming out there. My sunflower's a little wet still, so let me show you real quick. And then you can see, like in his scarf or around his cheeks, how it kind of makes that stand out a little. Yeah. So I'm gonna try to do some lines around my sunflower. I don't want to get paint jabbed up into my pen. But I do want to show you how it looks. Okay, so adding those little lines to the sunflower make all the difference in the world. All right, so now we're gonna do the crazy stuff. I'm gonna go ahead, I'm not gonna do anything with my straw till I get my resin on. So here's what I'm gonna do. This is an old wine bottle that I broke a long time ago. And this is what I'm gonna use on my sunflowers in the live tonight. So this is what I'm going to use if I can find some small pieces. This is what I'm going to use in the middle of the sunflower here. So I'll just pile up some bigger ones. I didn't even hardly get the label off of this before I busted it. It's still got some paper on it, so shame on me. But I don't mind it a bit. I kind of like the, I don't know. I guess it seems lazy, but I like that it still kind of has the paper on it sometimes. So we'll add a little bit of brown glass. I need a super skinny piece like that. I'll add glass to his little hat. Then we're gonna pour resin, and then we'll put our hay down into the resin. We'll put our button on top and then add a little more to that. So I'm gonna go ahead and mix up my resin. I have hay here to add, all kinds of little messy business to add. So let me grab some gloves, and we're gonna mix 1 ounce of resin. I don't even think we need that much. I think we could probably get away with 1/2 ounce, but I'm gonna go ahead and mix 1 ounce because I have things I can add it to, and because I'd rather have too much than not enough as per usual. So I'm gonna mix 1 ounce. I'm gonna get my gloves on. Charlotte, the pen is called a graphic marker. Graphic is the brand, okay? And it's a needle drawing pen, and it is archive quality, so it won't run when you put resin on top. It'll stay in place and not make a hot mess. So, real quick, I'm gonna, yeah, I can't see the comments unless, if you see me put my hand in front, it's because I'm trying to, like, I have to go out of Facebook and then go back in to Facebook to see the comments. So if I don't answer your question, I'm not ignoring you, I promise. I just have to refresh every once in a while to see the comments. But the reason I still have a little bit of sticker on my glass, Gretchen, is because I get frustrated about not being able to get all the sticker paper, whatever it is, off, and then I just break my bottle with it on there. So I don't know, maybe a Goo Gone or something. You soak it, and I soak mine, and then I try to scrape it off to the best of my ability. And I want to show you, look, here's a piece of glass. This is obviously a beer bottle, because look, it's still got the paper on it. See, it looks like a Budweiser. But I do the best I can to get most of the paper off, and then I bust my glass anyway. Just is what it is. That's how I roll. All right, do you think we need anything else before we resin? Because I'm gonna get started. We are gonna use art resin, and I'm going to mix 1/2 ounce of hardener. I'm gonna try not to drip on my painting. Don't do this at home. 1/2 ounce of hardener, and I'm gonna swap that. 1/2 ounce of resin. Whoop, slow your roll. Then I have this cup over here that has got, it's like, it's almost unbreakable now. It's just a plastic cup, but you can't hardly even squeeze it because I've mixed so much resin in it. But that's my mixing cup. And so I'm gonna dump the 1/2 ounce in here. You wanna get it all out so that your measurement is nice and equal and not off balance. So there's one. And we'll scrape the hardener, or whatever it was. I don't know which one it was. Scrape all the goodness out. Leave no resin behind. or as little as possible. Okay, I'm gonna have to time myself, obviously, because I can't see comments. I'm gonna refresh one more time, and voila. I'm gonna have to time myself because I can't see the comments. So I'm gonna stir this for 3 minutes, and because I can't see the comments, I'm just gonna yak. And I'm gonna tell you all about my shattered circle, and I'm just gonna yickety yak for 3 minutes. I'm looking at the clock now. It is exactly 4:50. So I'm gonna try my very best to do it right. And so I'm stirring and I'm scraping the sides and stirring, and this has to happen for 3 minutes. So let's talk about my shattered circle because it's my little baby. I started the shattered circle 3 years ago when I really wanted to teach. I've been a teacher most of my life and I really wanted to teach, but I needed to make some money too because I was about to have a divorce and I knew I needed to have an income. So I thought, if I'm going to try this, and if it works, fantastic. If it doesn't, at least I gave it a shot. So that is when I started the Shattered Circle. I'd been doing this, literally what I'm doing now, online for a couple years before that, and just painting with friends and painting with people. And I started the Shattered Circle 3 years ago last month. I'm going to put that there so I don't forget. And what we offer inside the Shattered Circle are 2 monthly workshops every month, a minimum of 2. During the Christmas holidays, we usually do a little bit more than that because we cannot just stick to 2 because there's so much fun to have. You also get a monthly Q&A. We have a monthly contest where we do a member appreciation, and that member gets a sweet little prize. And what we do here on this page, which is my public business page, when you are a member of the Shattered Circle, I give my members the template or tracer for this and all the supply list and stuff for anything we do on this page. And that is only supplied to our members. All right, so let me tell you what's inside there. When you join today for $37 a month, there are already 22 workshops that will be immediately accessible to you when you join the monthly membership, okay? There's 22 art workshops that are video and PDF pictorial. And there are over 20 technique videos on how to break glass, how to cut shapes, how to tint resin, how to do resin, all the how-tos that you need to know to be a successful glass artist, even as far as how to build your own canvas, how to sign it, how to put your hangers on the back. I teach in my Shattered Circle how to sell your art, how to pack and ship your art, all the things. However, if you join for a year, it's $370, so you get 2 months free, and you get automatic access to the vault, which has an additional 52 art workshops inside the vault. Now, don't fret if you want to sign up as a monthly member. If you sign up as a monthly member, you get the vault in 6 months, okay? When you have stayed with us for 6 months, we gift you the vault so that you don't have to miss out either. So, I think our 3 minutes is up, so I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna hit my glass first. Don't let me forget that button. I'm gonna hit my glass first, then I'm gonna put resin on everything else, then I'm gonna put in my hay and my button, okay? Oh, I wanted to tell you lastly too that if you sign up before midnight tonight, I have an angel hanging behind me. I'll show you once we pull the camera back up. But I have a cute little angel workshop that is a bonus for signing up early. We call that our early bird bonus. So if you sign up before midnight tonight, you get an additional free workshop. I'm gonna dump, and I'm gonna spread that with, see how the colors pop? I posted a picture today. One of the members posted her before and after resin and glass and of a pumpkin, and I tell you what, it makes such a difference. Adding the resin really makes your colors bright and makes them really pop and look so pretty and colorful. So I'm just spreading. I should just use my hand, it would be faster, but I want to kind of see if I can salvage my gloves so they're not completely covered with resin when I do my hay or my straw or whatever you want to call it. So I'm going to just keep after it. Keep spreading. I got a little something in there I'll have to pick out. Need a little bit more. So yeah, I don't want to have all the resin on my gloves when I do my hay, because it's going to be hard to get them on there if my hands are covered in resin. So I'm going to use my thingy, my applicator. Keep spreading. Now resin is self-leveling, so unless you spread it like paper thin, it's going to self-level and look really nice. If you get it too thin, it could create little divots or cis marks, skippies in your resin. So there is kind of a fine line between not enough and, oh well, I got too much. Because when you get too much, it runs over the sides and makes bumps on the back. And if you get not enough, then you get divots. So it's kind of a fine line, but we teach that as well. And in every workshop we do, I tell you how much resin I use for the project, so you don't even have to guess. All right, so I'm gonna put that in there, and I'm gonna go right around my edges to make sure they're nice and covered on the corner. And before I do my hay, I'm gonna torch it, okay? Because you can't torch it if it's got hay on it that's not covered with resin. So I'm gonna grab my torch. You can use, I also use a heat gun. You can use a torch or a heat gun, or like one of those little kitchen creme brulee torches to pop your bubbles. You can even use a hair dryer. It won't cover your bubbles quite, or pop your bubbles quite as much as a heat gun will, but it will work in a pinch. I've done it many times. Many. All right, I don't see any more issues. So now we're gonna do the crazy parts. All right, I'm gonna start with the hat and work my way down. So I have this hay, so I'm gonna see if I can get some smaller pieces. And see, I'm gonna have to take my gloves off. It's gonna stick to my gloves anyway, and I hope I don't get a ton of resin on my hands. So I'm just gonna start laying some straw into my resin, and I'm gonna grab my stylus to help kind of push that around. So let me refresh again. It's so annoying. I don't know why Facebook's doing that to me. So I'm gonna grab some of the smaller, shorter pieces first and just kind of lay them in. Kind of push them where I want them to be. You wanna make sure they're touching the resin so that they stick. But I don't wanna completely cover them with resin. That makes sense? That's kind of cute. I guess we won't really know how well it turned out until it's dry. All right, I'm gonna put my button down right there. And I'm gonna pour very carefully. I'm gonna kind of half put my gloves back on. Ugh. And I'm gonna drizzle some resin over that button to make sure it's nice and secure. Ooh, what I wanna do. Want to make sure that button is not going to come off. Perfect. That is super cute, guys. I don't know how well you can see that in person. I mean, on film, but this is so cute, I can hardly stand myself. Okay, so I'm going to start adding in a few more pieces. I'm just going to lay them in, and then I'll wiggle them around where I want to in a minute. Drop them in. I like the super skinny ones, so I'm gonna kind of split some of these in half, like shred them, because I want them to be a little bit skinnier. Oh, I dropped the piece I was working with. So I'm just gonna keep adding, whoops. So don't shred them over your canvas, because I did that and got some debris in there, and I'm not going to worry about that too much right now. May try to pull it out in a minute. So I'm just going to add so cute, so cute. Couple more pieces and then I'll be happy. And we'll do the other side. Okay, I'm gonna take my stylus and I'm just going to kind of touch the ends of them and make sure they're stuck down into the resin. I don't want them sticking down everywhere, but I want to make sure they're touching somewhere. So that, especially at the top where the hat is. And I'm gonna get out that little piece of debris right there. All right, now I'm gonna do the other side. This is so cute, y'all. So cute. So glad someone suggested this, and I'm so glad I listened because it is super cute. All right, I want to add some more. Add some pieces. I didn't resin, I just refreshed so I could see your comment. I didn't resin the straw completely because I wanted it to be dimensional. I wanted it to kind of stick up and, you know, be dimensional. So if you resin it, it would lay flat on the canvas and be covered completely, and it would not be as dimensional. And I wanted it to have some dimension and substance. So that's kind of why I did that. We'll add this piece right here. I need a long piece, long skinny piece. Let me find one. Just gonna shred a couple. And so I'm just picking through this little mess I've got here. All right, now I'm gonna take my little piece and just kind of make sure everything is touching. That one's not. All right, now I think, oh, I did not elevate. Let me elevate real quick so I don't have a mess. I'm gonna add a few down at the bottom. Lydia, I would love to see those. So I'm gonna make these kind of smaller bits coming out of his neck or his little head scarf, whatever you want to call it. So a few little bits on each side. It's so cute. So cute. I found another cute, a few little bitty ones. You see my hand shaking? Lord have mercy. That left hand's worse than the right. This is stinking adorable. Oh my goodness. I love him. Just push it in, make sure it sticks down. One more over here, just for fun, because I can't stop. All right, holy moly. This is so cute, I can hardly stand it. I'm gonna move this over, and I wanna show you close up. Look how cute. Can you see? The straw coming out of his hat is so stinking cute, I can't even stand it. Is that not adorable? Oh my goodness, I gotta refresh so I can see what you guys think. He is adorable. I love him. I am so pleased about the suggestion of using the straw. Love it, love it, love it. He is so, so cute.